Move Podcast. I am Sage, and this is my special guest, Gary.
What's
Uh,
up?
when you end it, sign out. Oh, my bad. Um, we're going to be talking about the 2024-2025 football season. But before we get into that, let's start off with this Club World Cup final between PSG and Chelsea. What are your thoughts on that, Gary? Ruthless?
I think Chelsea are gonna get blown out of the water. They're a fantastic team. I'm thinking probably third, fourth in the Prem next season. But PSG, man, this team, you don't have teams like this nowadays. It's a super team. That's what it is. You have the two best fullbacks. You have potentially the Ballon d'Or winner. You have one of the best young players in the world.
One of the best keepers
still. The best keeper, arguably. It's insane. It's just such a stacked team. I don't think Chelsea stands a chance, honestly.
Yeah, I agree, man. This PSG team this year has been so dominant across the board, man. Like just in the Champions League this year alone, like they beat Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, and then just demolished Inter in the final. Like 5 goals past that Inter defense, like it was nothing. Right?
Scored in a Champions League final against the arguably the best defense in this Champions League. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just like, for me, like when you break down this season, right? Dembele's story, man, is just insane, man. Like playing for Barca, being so injury prone, the fans getting tired of him and they want him gone. He finally leaves. He joins PSG and gets off to the ground running this year. I mean, 35 goals and 16 assists throughout this year. 8 of those goals and 6 of the assists happening in the Champions League, right? And 21 goals and 8 assists in League One. Like, that's a great stat line for that man.
Yeah, it's a wild storyline. Nobody would have thought he would have been this good this year.
And I know football fans love the forwards and the strikers, but that defense of PSG this year is just that duo of Mendes and Hakimi. Like,
that's beautiful.
They shut down everyone they faced this year.
I've heard a saying, it was like everybody is a Ballon d'Or contender until they run into Nuno Mendes.
Yeah, man.
Insane this year. Absolutely insane.
Like, they shut down Salah, who also had an insane season of the year. They Mendy shut down Lamal and the what's it called now?
The Nations League.
The Nations League. Saka got shut down, and Diaz got shut down. Like some of the best wingers in the game right now are just getting destroyed by these two guys right now. It's insane.
It's crazy.
And moving on from PSG this year, we got to talk about this Barca team, right? Getting the heart broken by Inter in the last 5 minutes of the game, man. Like those two legs, man. Like what, seven goals by Inter, 6 goals by Barcelona, man. Across 2 legs, insane.
That is a Champions League final scoreline right there. This Barca team. Such an entertaining team. I'm not even a Barca fan, but they are so entertaining to watch. Genuinely, the youth, the talent, just the quality just oozes out of all of them. It's such an entertaining match to watch.
Like Barca has given us such beautiful football for the longest time, man, and they keep doing it. No matter what era, no matter how poor they are, how rich they are, they find ways to find players and make them into superstars. Lamal just being 18, 17 years old, having a very good season this year. But I think the star of the show is actually Rafinha this year, right? Mm-hmm. Rafinha has, I believe, 35 goals and 25 assists across this season, 13 of which happened in the Champions League, making him tied as the top scorer, and had 9 assists also. Like, Rafinha this year was on a tear from start to finish, right?
Keep in mind, he doesn't take penalties either.
No, none.
He doesn't take penalties.
Like 34 goals of only 2 of them being penalty shots are insane. And he destroyed Bayern. I think that Bayern game is his best game in the group stages.
A hat trick against Bayern is something very few players can say they've done.
Yeah, man. I think I think for like Rafinha this year, I don't think he'll get Ballon d'Or anymore. I think Dembele has it now. Is the award to lose at this point. But overall, if I had to vote and I had to really break it down, I'm still voting Rafinha. I think Rafinha this year was the best player in football throughout the entire
Yes,
season. I think he's
absolutely
still playing
agree.
football.
His defense
Right.
let him down, and that sucks. Playing that high
Constant,
line,
man.
the high line gives, the high line takes. But you just, it's ridiculous, man. He assists, he does everything, and this is coming from a player who Barca wanted to get rid of.
Yeah,
It's
they want him gone.
kind of convenient. The two players that Barca wanted to get rid of, Dembele and Rafinha, are now absolutely balling. And last season, and probably even the season before, I think Rafinha would have won Ballon d'Or. Same with Dembele. It just shows how the Ballon d'Or race is this year.
And again, as a Liverpool fan, but another player who also had a very strong shout to win the Ballon d'Or was Salah. Salah once again as an aging Premier League player still shows that he's still the best player in the Premier League right now. At the ripe age of what? I think he's like 30 something now.
I believe he's 33. Yeah.
Yeah, 33 years old, man. Having also had 30 goals this year in the Premier League season, right?
Yeah,
and
I
won the
believe
league in dominant fashion.
29 goals, 18 assists in 38 Premier League appearances.
That's very good.
That's not including Champions League and stuff, but that's absolutely ridiculous. That is, at his age, it's just ridiculous. He's the best player in the Premier League.
I'm an Arsenal fan. I think Thierry Henry is the best Premier League player of all time. Maybe because I'm biased, but I'm not too mad when I hear shouts from Liverpool fans talking about how dominant Salah has been for these last 5-10 years.
No, you have just, in my opinion, you have three players I'd argue for all-time Premier League, and Henry, Salah, and Kevin De Bruyne. They are
KDB, man.
It is wild at this age. He's still at the highest level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think now, as you're Liverpool fans, how would you break down this season for you guys? You won the league this year, but you also failed to get past PSG this year. Are you disappointed? Are you happy with the results of this year under new coach?
I mean, obviously it's fantastic winning the league in our first year under this new coach. Nobody really expected we were going to do that. And I'm not going to lie, whenever we did get knocked out by I think it's Plymouth Argyle, the FA Cup, that hurts. And getting knocked out by PSG hurt, and then they got into the final, and it hurts a little less. You still want to be there, but that's a fantastic team. And it sucks afterward having nothing to play for. But if you had asked me last year where I thought we were going to be, I would have said probably second or third. And I would have been like, okay, this is a transition year. This is a fantastic year. Now that we've won this and made probably the best transfer window we've ever had, then I really can't argue with this season. It's massive respect on this slot. And we did get to a Carabao Cup final too, which sucks we lost the way they did, but it is still a fantastic season. And winning that first title, because everybody discounts the COVID title. It wasn't. It's not a real title. It's nice to have an actual title now, so people can't really say that.
That's fair. Yeah, and for me as an Arsenal fan, again, overall, once again, another disappointment. Finishing second in the league for the third year in a row. Failing to beat the exact same PSG team. In the semis, and I think injuries, man, injuries is a big reason why this league battle wasn't closer than it was. Right,
I agree. And
losing that beautiful duo of Saliba and Gabriel. Not having soccer for the full year, not having soccer for the full season, all those things just drastically held us back. Right, I'm still pissed off at that Aston Villa game. Well, I'm watching Ollie Watkins. I'm watching Ollie Watkins. Come off the bench, score 2 goals past us, and tie the game back up and costing us points all the time.
At least the board seems to be making right directions. Reports are coming out earlier today that y'all are in the final stages of signing Gyökeres. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy, man. Again, only thing I really want from this window is to get a bona fide striker, right, and improve the rest of the core. But if we can find that bona fide striker and he becomes that bona fide striker, I believe we can convincingly win the league this year. Because when we're fully healthy, we have arguably the best defense in the Premier League. When healthy, we have one of the best midfields in the Premier League. When healthy, we have one of the best front three in the Premier League. Right? I think we can win the Premier League title this year. And right now, that's all I care about. I do not care about the Carabao Cup. I do not care about FA Cup. Right now, for now, I don't care about Champions League. I want to say for a year that we were the best club in England. That's all I care about right now. Just to say that sentence. We were the best club in England. Not the second best club, the best one. I'm tired of being second. I won't be first for once. So that's all I care about. And we can't do that still. Tita, I'm sorry, man. Great work you've done so far. You might need to go.
I mean, it's just like sometimes you got to have another coach that'll take you over the line. Like that's happened. You know, you have coaches that'll finish for, I don't know, they'll finish for second. They'll make massive work. They'll do fantastic work for the club, be great servants. But like, you just need somebody else that'll really push you over the edge.
Mm-hmm. So,
but yeah, you got.
No, my bad. Quick change of subject. I want to talk about how much of a dumpster fire Spurs were this season, to feel good with myself.
Oof.
They were literally one spot from relegation this year, and despite winning the Europa League final, they still sacked their coach, which is insane to me.
This is the epitome of Spurs. This is the most Spursy season we have ever had. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be crazy next year whenever Spurs get relegated and win the Champions League. Like that's something they would do. They're gonna freaking beat PSG in the
Super Cup.
In the Super Cup.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna lose to I don't know who's gonna lose to Burnley.
Nottingham Forest or something.
Nottingham Forest or something. It's random. Like it is. Yeah. It is crazy. But you talk to most Spurs fan, and they'll take this season with just the Europa League.
Yeah, a trophy, man.
I don't fully disagree with them. If I was in Spurs position and I hadn't won anything in that long and I win the Europa League, which is a pretty big trophy, I'd say it was on par with like an FA Cup or something like that. Maybe it's not quite a Champions League. It's not quite a Premier League. But I mean, it's still, you're beating European teams.
Yeah, you did. They beat Man United in that final too. A Man United squad that was kind of like hot going into that final, like pulling up that comeback against I can't remember who exactly it was.
Lille, I think it was.
I think it was Lille, right? And that was a very, very good like final match.
Entertaining game.
Hey, Maguire, man.
3-4 down. Maguire turns into a freaking prime Messi, dribbles past everybody. It's
and talking about Harry Maguire, like it's funny to me, like this year, right? Like two of the Man United rejects or the most hated players have found a way to turn their careers around. Harry Maguire is improving to be a very, very solid center back. My bad. What's the guy's name now? I'm bad with names today. The guy who Anthony, Anthony leaves Man United, joins La Liga, and became a very, very good winger this year.
Very good. Top 5 wingers in freaking La Liga. Like it's crazy.
Like I'm watching him dribble past defenders. He's cutting in way more than he used to at Man United because I think that was my issue.
Confident.
Yeah,
he's actually he seems like he wants there. Like it's nice, and he's
attacking now. It was pretty good for him.
He seems happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's good. And
he's passionate now.
Another Man United player, Scott McTominay, the best midfielder in Serie A.
Yeah.
After they essentially kicked him out of the club whenever he was one of their best players last year.
Mm-hmm.
It is wild to me.
Like I think at some point we got to ask, like, is it just the culture? Was it the tactics overall? Like, why do players struggle in this Man United system?
I think it's got to be the management. It's got to be the board. I can't see. You can't be a club that is successful as they are and that have the income and the revenue streams that they have and consistently mess it up so badly. They messed it up. They finished 15th and they're still able to spend 200 million. I don't know about 200 million, but they've spent about 100 million so far if the Bryan Mbeumo deal goes through, which is looking like it will. They're still able to do that despite finishing fifth. I don't see how, as a club, you mess that up. But
yeah, I don't know, man.
They have so many, I won't say so many, but they have talented players. Mainu is a very good talent. Ahmad is a very good talent. Maguire was a fantastic center back this year.
Mhm.
Onana was one of the best keepers before he came there.
Yes.
Mazraoui, he was pretty good this season. Xerxes looked great with Bologna. Like, it's all of these players, they signed them for a reason, and they just drop off a cliff afterward. Hoyland wasn't the best striker ever, but like he was not that bad. He just
When you watch Holland
needs-
play, in that system, they don't give him the ball. Like there's so many times where I'm watching Holland making that run. Like a lot of strikers don't make runs no more. I feel he'll make the run or be in the right position, and he gets no link up play at all. So he just staying there watching the game. I'm like,
it's ridiculous.
What's the point of a striker if you're not gonna let him shoot? Like, I don't really get that.
Well, and it makes him more likely to be riskier with the ball whenever he has it, to shoot whenever he gets a chance, because like he's not gonna get the chance otherwise. If he has Ahmad, let's just say for example he has Ahmad and what's his name? And Garnacho on both sides. Garnacho and Ahmad both are that type of player. Ahmad has been good this season, but he wants everything to flow through him. You saw that in the final. They tried to get everything to flow. He did play in the final, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, he did.
The final. Yeah, but they were trying so hard to get everything to flow through him. And it just was not working because he can't do everything. And Garnacho was the exact same way. He just wants to dribble, and his decision making is just not up to par now. And you have two wingers on that side, and Bruno also wants to shoot. So like it's that squad just doesn't mesh well. It doesn't work. You need some more less selfish players, and that's why I'm really scared of bringing in Cunha, because Cunha's that exact same way. I agree. You know, they needed somebody with a little bit of flair, a little bit of ego, I guess is the word. But how far is that really going to take you?
And talking about dumpster fires, we gotta talk about this Real Madrid squad. Like, what went wrong this year, in your opinion?
They don't mesh well. That's all it is. You have two of the best players in the world at one position. It's Vinny and Mbappe were both Ballon d'Or candidates the year before, and Mbappe arguably was this year. Probably fifth, but they don't have a striker. Mbappe is not a striker, and moving him to a striker is just going to make it worse. They lost Cruz, which I argue is probably the biggest deal.
Yeah, because it forced
Bellingham back. It forced him to play older players like Mudryk and maybe players that weren't ready like Guler. They have some fantastic players, but Mudryk was just Cruz was just that glue that just stuck them together. He was so good. And you saw it with Germany. Germany looks so much better. They got grouped in the World Cup before, and then he comes back and they're instantly favorites for the Euros. They were arguably the second best team in the Euros, and like some people feel a certain way about the handball. I thought it was offside, but if that decision had went in their way, like they could be Euro champions. Like it's a big what if. Like I don't know, just missing that. You're not playing Bellingham where he prefers to be and where he did his first good season at that false nine role. You don't have a CDM. I'm sorry. Tchouaméni is just not good enough. He's a pretty decent center back, but he's just not good. Injuries, you can say injuries hurt them too. I don't disagree. You know, Carvajal was one of the best fullbacks. You lost him for an entire year. You had to play Asensio, who is definitely not ready, as good as he seems in sparks. But it is the fullback situation is just a whole thing. But it's at the end of the day, they could have made it work, and they could have put up much more of a fight if they had signed like a top quality striker maybe instead of Mbappe, which is crazy to say, but like I just don't think Mbappe fits that squad. I really don't.
So do you think adding in Trent to the squad will make it better down the line, or was it the same?
I'd be a fool not to, even as a Liverpool fan. Like Trent's a fantastic player, and adding him, I don't see the downside, especially on a free. Like
Mhm.
his wages are going to be decent, but like, come on, like he's a very good fullback. He's very creative. He can add a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's going to be able to really show his strengths in the way that he did at Liverpool, which is why I think, maybe it'll be difficult for him for a couple years, or maybe, he won't ever find his actual footing. But like, if I was a Real Madrid fan, despite the fact that I'm a Liverpool fan, like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think under this new coach, Xavi's the new coach now. I think Xavi really likes what Trent brings to the table. His overall playmaking, his overall offensive value. That I think he'll find ways to cover up his defensive liabilities to make them win games again. I mean, win trophies again, because that's what Madrid's all about. They're not fine finishing second in the league. They're not fine losing in the semis. They're not fine losing anywhere. They want to win and win only. And I think having that coach, who won it with Leverkusen, I think they'll figure it out eventually. I think maybe Vinny has to go. I think Vinny has to go.
Yes. On that, how do you feel about the Rodrigo situation?
I mean, I feel bad for Rodrigo. Like again, like he's been there since day one for Madrid, right? Been one of the most productive players, one of the most clutchest players on that roster. And he's essentially being forced out of the squad, not because he's bad, because he's just that loaded of a situation of just too many cooks, right?
I can't. Yeah,
Hmm?
I can't with this. I don't like the fact that they are forcing him out, because I think the squad needs more Rodrigos than it does Vinny's. Mbappe is a better player than Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you do with Vinny. It's a difficult situation, but it's just not. I don't think you can really have Mbappe and Vinny. I think Rodrigo, he is a much more team first assist player, which is why I
Yes.
think Arsenal would honestly be good to snatch him up. But
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is.
Have Vinny Rodrigo on my team. I'll take that deal.
Yeah,
I think having to potentially place Martinelli, for example, would be great.
I agree. But it is, I don't know. It's terrible, because I think Rodrigo should be doing better in this team. And he didn't play like barely any. He played like 20 minutes in the Club World Cup, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous for a player of his caliber. I get it, maybe he wants to leave, maybe he's not comfortable with the role he's playing last season, but like it is, you should be pushing for him to stay and pushing for either probably Vinny to leave.
Mm-hmm. So moving on to, moving on to Bayern, right? Doing Bayern things, dominating the league once again, but coming short at winning a Champions League. How do you feel about their season overall?
Everybody's treating like Company as if he's like, okay, I won't say they're treating him like he's a fantastic coach, but like, I think I won't say most. Okay, that's disrespectful to Company, but like, they didn't have a good year in terms of Bayern. They had a good year in terms, they won the league, which, I mean, they've won the last, 14 leagues except for one.
Mm-hmm.
So they have miles better player than everybody else. And I mean, they just signed Jonathan Tah, so even better this year. But like, it is, I can't. Darren was talking, he put up that whole graphic about Bayern is still one of the best teams. And like all the statistics he gave, just like, okay, they have the best possession, they have the most points. Like, that doesn't. The points statistic is the only one that matters.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have. I believe I saw this right, but they would not have won the league last year if they had the same points tally. Which, I mean, Leverkusen obviously dropped off a little bit. That's a freak season, and that's a crazy. We may never see a season like that again. But I don't think they had a bad season. But in terms of Bayern, like getting 3-0 or 4-0, 4-1, or was it 4-0 by Barca, is oof. That's gotta hurt. And then getting knocked out the way they did, it just. And then even in the Club World Cup, like they got knocked out again very early, and they did not seem like. They just don't seem like, there's some things that aren't clicking. They're missing some pieces of them. I think they have the potential to be very good players. Musiala despite the fact of him getting hurt, which that's awful.
That's
Ugh.
that's really bad.
That's a
That's really
terrible
bad.
situation. You hate to see that
Football.
as a football fan, but
That's bad injury.
you have talents like him, Kane, um, Neuer's still crazy for some reason. Ta is going to be a good center back, I think, for them. Their wingers they do probably need another left winger, but like their midfielders, Kimmich is one of the best players in the world. Like they have the pieces. They just really need to fill in some holes, I think.
For me, I think the game that really defines their season is them failing to beat, I believe, Inter, right?
I believe, it was Inter.
Yeah, that was the Inter. And like, when you watch the both legs, they were the better team in both. Like, yes,
Yeah.
Harry Kane had a bad miss, I believe, in the first game, and had another okay miss in the second game. But like, they were the better team across both games. Like, they were creating some good chances that they couldn't finish, and had some bad defensive lapses too at the same time. I think that game defined the season. Like, they're a very good squad, but they couldn't get over the hump. Also, they could get over the hump this year.
You have a theme of like them losing matches. You know, they have this possession, they have like all the chances, but they just can't finish, even with one of, if not the best striker in the world, which I don't know. It's difficult because you can play what if all the time with those type of matches, but like they probably should have won that match against Inter. And then like what happens with Barcelona? It's a whole like butterfly effect. It's
yeah, that game final.
It's interesting.
Yeah, Inter was the worst, was the second best team on the pitch, but won both times against Bayern and Barca this year. And I think that haunts both units this year. I think it haunts them into next year also, because I think both squads, like, I think they know for a fact they could have played better against PSG than that, and I think they know that, and that bothers the hell out, especially Boston.
I mean, yes, absolutely. And I don't know if you ever plan to talk about Inter, but Inter.
Inter themselves this year. That entire season, like, that was a very close title race, man. Very close title race to the end there. It was very fun to watch.
It sucks. You feel for Inter because I don't know what they're gonna do next year. They're losing a lot of their best players. They lost their coach. I don't know if another coach can really play in the style that Inzaghi did. It was such a unique style. And then like
you're watching the center back go coast to coast. The center back going build up play coast to coast down the pitch for a goal. That's insane. That should be possible.
Weirdest style that worked. But I mean, even Inzaghi, like 2 finals in 3 years is haunting. It really is. Like it's gotta suck for him. He had 2 chances. And then I think it was Bastoni who was like, whenever they lost to Man City, they were like, I prefer we lose 4-0. And then they lost 5-0. Like, I feel for Inter, man. I really do. Because I don't know what they're going to do next year. Because, Napoli is strengthening. A lot of the other teams are strengthening. But, like, from what I've seen, Inter just seems to be losing people. And their squad is not getting any younger. It was good this year. But, players like DeMarco, he needs to be replaced. He was getting skinned out there. And I don't know, it may be time for a full rebuild for Inter.
Yeah.
Which sucks because last season they were such a strange defensive team, but it worked. It worked with them being older, having like a lot of experience in there because they played around that. And I don't know how they're gonna do that, especially
they're all one mind and like they feel like they're like one mind, one body. Like they knew what other guys were gonna be every single time. I
know. It's scary, honestly. How well they play that.
Yeah, like some teams have talent, but not that. I think that beats talent almost all the time.
Exactly. And then what happened to them in the final? Like that's just not the same Inter team that beat Barca. It really isn't.
I think they were gassed, man.
They had to be. I can't losing the title like that and the Champions League in the same couple of days, dude. I feel bad. Like my teacher's an Inter fan, dude. He was like so sad. It was,
But overall, disappointment. But like they overachieve at the same time, which is insane. Saying that you overachieve but you're disappointed in overachievement is just an insane place to be in, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to Inter. Nobody thought they were going to make it that far in the Champions League. You know, they had the favorites as Liverpool and Barca at the beginning. PSG also overachieved, but we've already been over them. Like, it's crazy. It really is.
Yeah. And I think that like that's the main theme of the season, man. Like a lot of people was hating going into this season, right? They're like, "Oh, football is boring," but I'm watching Pedri and Jude Bellingham fighting for that best midfield spot. I'm watching Lamar be one of the best playmakers I've seen in a long time. I'm watching Rafinha be a very, very good goal scorer. I'm watching Salah just destroy Premier League team after Premier League team after Premier League team. Like this year was so much fun. Like even the Nations League that I usually do not care about at all. The
I
tournament
know, right?
was fun to watch. Like
It was entertaining.
that Spain versus a Portugal game was so fun, man. Right?
After last year, which I'd argue was probably one of the worst years we've ever had, because you know the title race it wasn't really like one team was like dramatically better. It was just, I feel like, to me at least, Arsenal and Liverpool just kind of dropped, and then Man City won.
Yeah.
And then Madrid, you know, they won the Champions League again.
Everyone hates Madrid. Everyone wanted Dortmund to win. Everyone wanted Dortmund to win. That's what everyone wanted.
Yeah. But this season, like, there's so many underdog stories. Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup is not something I ever thought I would say. That's not something, that's a once in a lifetime thing for a Crystal Palace fan. Newcastle winning the Carabao Cup is a little less like that big of a deal because they do have a lot of money, but like that is still huge for them.
The 24-year drought? They broke?
Yes. And
my God.
PSG, they've never won the Champions League before. Them winning the Champions League. Teams doing as well as they did. The football was actually genuinely entertaining this year.
And one thing I need to touch on, but PSG winning the Champions League this year is just such a funny thing because it's they got it the opposite way they've been running this club. Like their entire philosophy was, okay, we're rich, one of the most richest clubs in football. Let's get all the top talent that we can and hope that works. And it did. It kept failing. They got Neymar, it failed. They got Mbappe, it failed. They got Messi, it failed. The one time they're like, you know what? Mbappe can go. With the best in that youth system, let's get some young players in there and provide defense. And my God, they win it instantly out of the Bobby League.
They are balling out.
Like, that's funny to me. Like so many times, I feel like even Boston made the same mistake. You know, and remember just made it just now. It's like so many clubs say, "Oh, I want to have the best player or the best player in the market right now. I want that guy," while forgetting the core is good enough already, right? The core is already good. You didn't need to add Mbappe. You just won the Champions League 1 year ago. You didn't need him. You didn't need
the
Mbappe.
Whole Galacticos thing all over again.
Yeah,
you do not need this many of them, and I don't know. You really need to find balance over that. And that's why young players are so good, because they can be molded. They can grow into the player you need. He didn't start out, playing the positions he did, and he plays like almost everywhere. He could probably play left wing, he plays right wing, he could maybe play striker. And that's what's so fun about the PSG front line. Almost all of their players can play anywhere. And it's not like they have 4 of the best attackers in one line. And they all work well with each other. They all mesh incredibly well. It's not fair, honestly.
Yeah. So
you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna talk about predictions real quick for like next year. Like, who do you think is gonna win the Premier League next year? Like,
I mean, I've got to back Liverpool just with the signings of bursts like that. I do think Arsenal will be second. And I don't think Man City will probably be third or fourth. But
if we're second for 4
I've
years,
got to back my team. Like I do agree. Gyökeres, Zubimendi, who else did y'all sign? Norgard. Like those are all fantastic signings. I can't complain. But our transfer. This is more than I would have ever imagined. Which that's another thing I was going to mention is the transfer window this season is so much better than last year. so much better. We're actually there's
They
superstars being
backed their
signed.
manager now. They finally backed him. Klopp got nothing 2 years ago to work with.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to me.
Yeah,
But
he
no, I
retired.
think what I'm thinking is Liverpool first, Arsenal second, City third, Chelsea fourth, Newcastle fifth, Aston Villa maybe sixth, Brighton seventh, and I don't remember from there on.
I don't know. I agree with most of that, but I still back Forest. I still think Forest is going to do this again somehow.
Okay, Forest, I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be like 10th. But their players they're losing, and Chris Wood is not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And you saw them, like, they are a fantastic team on their team, but yes, they're gassed out. They don't have subs. One injury to one crucial player, like Milinkovic or I mean, they've lost Hudson-Odoi. That's another, or not Hudson-Odoi. What's his name? Morgan Gibbs-White to Tottenham, which he's arguably their best player. A wonderful talent. Great business by Tottenham. That's a huge, huge, huge signing for them. But I think they'll do good. They have a good core, but like one injury to one player, and they're most likely screwed. At least
for me, because remember earlier the year you were like, "Oh, who are going to be the 3 teams that'll get relegated?" And you put Forest as one of those teams. I was like, "I know." I just felt like
that was my worst.
I believe in Forest, and I think I'm doing one more year. I think Forest one more year is going to find a way to finish in that top 5, the top 4 range. I get at least one more time before they.
I was not familiar with Forest game. I didn't really think they were going to get relegated. I couldn't think of anybody else that would get relegated, and I wanted somebody because I really did think like Leicester had a chance of staying up. Like I thought Vardy was going to do some miracle. He was still really good. Vardy's.
I mean that game gets Spurs was so fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, them beating freaking City 4-0 and then immediately losing to I don't know, maybe it was some team that hadn't gotten a win. It's hilarious.
For me, European League for you guys. I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, Vardy is he's such a Premier League striker. He's my favorite Premier League striker. I love him so much. But
him and Cam are been my favorites.
But what's your predictions
for the Premier League? Obviously this has to be the year. If we finish 4th, second for the 4th year in a row, I will cry.
Arteta out.
I will honestly cry because I can't deal with this heartbreak that many times. We need to win a trophy, please. I don't like at this point. Give me the Carabao Cup. I don't care. Just give me a trophy that actually says we won something important instead of saying, "Oh, we're improving. What are we improving to?" Because it's not equals to winning. If Man United can find a way when they're in the shit to win a trophy, Spurs when they're in the shit find a way to win a trophy. Fucking Chelsea when they're in the shit find a way to win trophies. And we're good, and we're winning nothing. We won nothing so far besides a garbage FA Cup a couple years ago and a Community Shield that no one cares about. That is not improvement to me. We're just a good club at this point, and not a great one, and that's bothering me. Because I think we are.
Y'all are. It's difficult. It really is because no one's gonna take you seriously until you win. I'd argue a Champions League or a Premier League, which like that's kind of how Liverpool were until we won the Champions League in 2019. Like everybody, you're still in your banter era, whatever. Klopp's doing good, but like it's. Once you do, it's a fantastic feeling. It's a fantastic feeling. It's a freeing feeling. It's your club gets looked at differently. The second y'all win a Champions League is the second like y'all have so much over so many different clubs. Like right now, y'all would be more than Chelsea fans. Y'all would probably be better than Chelsea fans. Y'all. Funnily enough, Spurs currently have a leg up in Europe.
They won the Europa League. They won a European title. We haven't won any. In the worst form, they won a title in Europe.
It's crazy, man.
We have one like older. We have one older one, but I'm saying like in the modern era, we have 0 Europe trophies. What kind of sucks. It sucks a lot.
This year, I think, has to be y'all's year, or Arteta needs to get out. And I'm all one for, people are being too harsh on Arteta. It's not his fault. He wanted to sign a striker. But there's a point. If he gets the striker this year, if he gets what he wants, and y'all still don't win, then that's no, we can't. Not anymore.
So I want to talk about the World Cup coming to America this year. I mean next year. We got so many teams either in form. We got Spain still be arguably the favorites. Argentina, coming off winning a couple of years ago, and coming off winning another Copa America. We have teams like Germany, like you brought up earlier. We have Portugal, where Portugal won the Nations League, and still a very good solid side with an older or aging Ronaldo still somehow.
It'd be crazy if he started the World Cup. That would be wild to me.
So out of all these teams, what team do you think is gonna come on top?
It is really difficult. Right now, I'd have to say Spain, just because we haven't seen enough of South American teams, which not to bring down South American teams. I mean, Argentina's a beautiful team. An Argentina-Spain final would be one of the most beautiful games you could ever see. It would be so good. And I don't know. I think other contenders would include I think Germany's probably going to make it pretty far. Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that they don't have Kroos anymore because he retired again. I think Germany is probably potential favorites. Portugal, I think, could make it far. There's some other really good teams. Most of the teams have been doing pretty good. France, despite them being inconsistent, they still do have some of the best depth and the best talent. Mm-hmm. And with PSG doing everything they're doing, that's only going to make more talent seen. You have 5 or 6 teams I could see winning the World Cup, realistically.
And of course, I'm Canadian/American. When you're American, and we're both automatically qualified. And my question is, how do you feel about this American squad going off, losing in the Gold Cup against Mexico, but under a new coach, a new system, new faces? How do you feel about this USA team this year?
I want to start out by saying we are incredibly lucky to have Pochettino. Yes. I think he's a fantastic coach. That's such a
another good sports coach
signing, a happenstance. Realistically, USA is a big country for soccer, and probably not as big as a lot of these other in World Cup, but us attracting that type of coach just does not happen.
Yeah,
it's a very chance signing. So I'm very appreciative for him. I think he's done some good at the World Cup. I don't like how we lost, and to be fair, it's not our full team. We were just playing with our B team. Mm-hmm. And some of those players have shown stuff. I would love to see if Tillman and Luna and Chris Richards start. Chris Richards already started, but Tillman and Luna have really proved I'd love to see them start in the actual World Cup squad. And it gives a lot of growth for our B team players. And Freeze could potentially be our new goalkeeper because he's been fantastic.
Oh, he was
over the tournament.
Good. He was really good.
It's difficult to judge. I love Pulisic and I love a lot of our other players, but it's really difficult whenever they don't show up because this would have probably been our last hurrah. And I think we could have beaten Mexico if we had our full team, but I don't think these scrimmages are that much telling of how we're going to do because we're going to realize, in that thing, we got to lock in, we got to do it. We still have a good squad. We're actually listed in one of the golden generations, which is more telling of U.S. soccer than it is actual golden generations. But I will be very happy if we make it out of our group. And I think we will make it out of our group, depending on what it is. Yeah. And, if we go on to move from then, I think our best World Cup was the last one we had, and we did really well in that World Cup, actually. And getting knocked out.
With draw with England. That was amazing. That was surprising.
Yeah, draw with England, and that Netherlands squad, that was probably the 3rd or 4th best team in the league because they went toe-to-toe with Argentina.
The very fighting game.
Arguably should have won that game due to a couple of decisions. Some people feel certain ways about that, but like that's a really good team to lose to, and that was a really solid performance from us. And if we just back up that World Cup with another solid, make it out of our group, maybe we make it to the semis. Obviously, I wish we could go further, but we have a lot of talent. There, a lot of these players playing in the MLS and a lot of these B team players are hungry to prove themselves, which is a fantastic thing. I just really hope our squad players right now don't get too complacent.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the big thing about this whole like World Cup tournament overall for just America, Canada, and Mexico, right? This obviously, if it goes smoothly, will easily expose the brand more of soccer / football as a sport, and especially United States, right? Because it's growing. Like we're seeing how the MLS is expansion, meaning they're adding new players in, right? There are more kids now actually playing, football / soccer, growing up more now than they ever did before. And I think like in a couple more years, especially in the United States, I think the United States team could be a very good force in world football. I think they could be one of the best countries in world football if they really wanted to.
Yeah, if they really realize the money that's in soccer, like I think they truly can. If they build up the programs, if they do all that, then they can be good. And you got.
Sorry, to be realistic, I think like 2030 or 2036 could be like a very like time that they're finally there at that point if they choose to.
It's just difficult because we don't know whether. I hope people see the money in it, which a lot of times they don't because like they're used to the NFL where you can, ad breaks in between, you can stuff like that. And like soccer's not like that, but it's still the highest revenue generating sport in the world. So like, hopefully they'll realize, it's not like our other sports, and that's going to be jarring for people because I mean, I don't know, all of the sports we have, like we're pretty good at most every sport we play.
Mm-hmm.
But soccer is very different, and it's the biggest sport in the world. So,
well, I think because I'm following all sports. If I try to, I think in couple more years, depending on how people are getting tired with basketball, people are getting tired with the NFL more and more. I don't think the NFL I don't think soccer is ever gonna place the NFL in popularity in the United States. But I think basketball, baseball, those two are up for grabs if soccer really if the MLS truly locks in and truly chooses to become a great sport. I think those two sports are catchable.
I agree.
In popularity.
If you put work into it, it will give you money. And I don't care about the money in the actual sport itself, but like if that's what it takes to get people interested, then okay. I don't care how you do it. I just want soccer to be bigger.
One thing I hope that they add in relegation in the MLS, because right now this current system, half the league has nothing to play for. They literally have nothing to play for. Like once you realize you're not making the playoffs, the playoffs, right? You're cooked. Like you just play meaningless games for like half the year.
It sucks. It really does. I don't know. There's that new league that's being announced, like the American Soccer League or something like that. Maybe that's what it was called. I don't know. I think they need competition for that reason because relegation. There are plenty of teams. I don't care. This would be a very interesting way of doing it, but like I don't care if you wanted to make like high school teams a part of that. Like they would be like a lower if you need teams, like there are college team, not high school, college, that's what I meant. College teams, like if you wanted to make them like the lower league and then you do relegation from that, like if that's what gets them to play, like I don't want stagnation. Inter Miami was one of the worst teams, and like they happened to sign Messi, but like they were relegated in quotes like many years in a row, and there's no reason for the management to be like, I'm going to spend more money if there's no relegation. You're getting paid essentially the same thing. The trophies are nice, but like
there's no history yet. There's no drama yet. I'm saying I love relegation because it adds so much drama. Like there's a lot of years where that alone gives you some of the best matches in the whole year, right?
The toilet bowl matches, like those are entertaining.
Yeah, man.
That's why the freaking Spurs Man United game was so entertaining.
Yeah.
Such an awful game.
Mhm. Like sometimes being a bad team is a good thing because it gives us some good TV, man. Because like NFL wise, there's no reason why there's no reason to truly turn on a Carolina game for right now or a Browns game besides liking a player.
I do not care about that. Like I don't really support a specific NFL team. I'd consider myself probably closest to a Panthers fan just because it's closer to us. But like, I don't want to support the Panthers because they suck, and there's no incentive for them to really get better. The draft system helps a little bit, but like, it's not like soccer where you can just spend money. You know, you can do stuff like that. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, it rewards failure versus soccer, which rewards investment. And I think that's the difference for right now.
Exactly.
So, well, I'm all out of topics I wanted to cover. I think this is a very good endpoint to end it on. Thank you for coming on and helping out, man.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Take care and good conversations. Shout out to the podcast.
All right, yeah.
Peace,
Once again, this was the Not Move podcast. Dropping episodes when we can. Thank you guys.
Peace.